Hey there, I'm Ken. This is CRT. Welcome. Welcome to this, the second episode of taking a look at the brand new to me TI99 4A computer I just picked up. As I said in the first video, which you can check out up here if you haven't seen it, this is a computer that I've never used before. I've never seen before. I've never even been in the same vicinity as somebody using one. The only time I've seen them is on videos. So I am quite excited about getting this thing running and checking out what it can do. In the first video, I unboxed it, checked out the power source. The power brick was not working at first, but then I discovered if I took off the little piece off the end, it was giving exactly the voltages it was supposed to, so that is working. And now I am going to tear that thing apart and check out the power converter board that's in there, and also just take a look at it and see that everything looks like it's going to be working, and then hopefully get it plugged in, get it working, and get playing some games on it. I know I'm excited about this, so let's get started. Now it's time to get inside of this computer. Now, I know absolutely nothing about these TI99 4A computers. So I guess I'm going to learn as I go. One of the unfortunate things is that this did not come with the proper cable for hooking it up to the television. And it takes a 5-pin connector going into, you can actually use composite with this computer. Although on the 5-pin connector there is also a live 12-volt pin on there, so you want to make sure that that's not getting hooked up to the back of your TV, because it's for hooking up, powering other peripherals. And that could definitely fry your TV, so you got to be careful. I think I have a solution with a cable that I already have, but I have ordered one that will work for this. And on the back here, this is the power connector. This is the cassette connector. On this side, you have the, this is an expansion port. There. So you plug in, there's a speech synthesizer that you can plug in there and stuff. And on this side you have the joystick connector. Anyways, enough looking at that. Let's crack this puppy open. Now, one thing I did see in a video that I was watching is that you have to remove the bottom of the case because the board and everything are all attached to the top of the case, which is completely different than any other computer I've taken apart. So here goes nothing. And we are stuck on something on this side. I'm going to pause a second and take a close look at this. I don't want to break anything. So what I found out is that there is the power switch on the front here that is actually connected to the power board inside. The power switch is connected to the bottom of the case. The power board is connected to the top of the case. So you have to gently pry off the power switch. Oops. There. And now this should come right off. And so here we have, this will be our keyboard, this will be our power board, and this will be the main computer part. So first things first, let's take off let's see. power board. There we go, there's the switch. Here we go with... Now, next thing we will do is disconnect the power board. Now we can test this out to be sure it is working properly. But first, let's disassemble the rest of this. Okay, those other screws that are on there look like they just run straight through and have nuts on the bottom. So, disconnect the keyboard. Alright, so now it is time to test out the power converter here. Now, remember, if you do not know what you're doing or you're at all worried about working around mains power, just don't touch this board. Because it's got the full 18 and 8 volts running into the board. This converts it into, see, that's these pins, your DC 5 volts, ground, 12 volts, and minus 5 volts, which is then fed into the computer. So yeah, if you're working around this, just make sure you're not touching anything on it, because yeah, that could give you a heck of a good shock. So we'll set the multimeter to DC 20 volts. Okay, and okay, the LED came on, so it's got power. Now, black on ground, 5.25 volts, 12.25 volts, negative 4.96 volts. So the power board is working. And just to show how dangerous it is, the mains power is turned off, and still got power running through it, because the capacitors are still discharging, and they will discharge for a little while. So make sure that's safely out of the way before you do anything else. So now it is time to take off the shielding. There's 2 clips on here. And then so what we're interested here is what the pins outputting here are. So it should be the very bottom middle pin, should be the ground. If what I've read is correct, the far pin over here, this should be the plus 12 volts. The one beside it should be the video, and then the other side, very outside pin, should be the audio, and the pin between the audio and the ground should be not connected to anything. So we're going to give it some power, and we're going to test that theory before we plug anything into it. Okay, so the power is turned on, the board is powered up. So first thing to do is we will ground, check that first pin, and we are about 12 to 13 volts. That seems a little high, but we're not even using that pin, so I'm not that worried about that. Now this should be our video signal. And we are getting a small charge going through there. So the audio signal also has something going through it. And nothing going through the pin that's not connected to anything. So it looks like that is going to work. So this is the cable I am going to attempt to use. Now, if you've watched my other videos, you may recognize this from when I used this to hook up my MC10 computer to a house stereo so that I could use the cassette deck on the house stereo. Now, I did a little figuring out from what the pins on this are, and I believe the yellow should be audio, the white should be composite video. I believe the red should be the 12 volts and the black should be not connected. So let's plug this in. Okay, so now we're going to check. The red cable here should be the plus 12 volts. I put shrink wrap on the red and the black cables, which are the two that I am not going to be using, and I don't want to accidentally plug them in. So 12, hold it steady, 12.05. Okay, we got the keyboard and everything hooked up. I am hooked in through my screen capture here, so we'll get to have a look at that if everything works out here, hopefully. So we give it power, and now we got to see if it is giving out a signal. And it is. Okay, we've got a signal. This is great. Now keyboard does not seem to be responding. Aha! The enter key worked. Maybe that's what I had to press. 1 for basic. Nope. Oh, there. Oh, something went off. Well, I am going to have a better look at this thing. Something definitely does not seem to be working right. Okay, so I have gone as far as I'm going to go without doing some research. Something definitely seems to be wrong with the keyboard. Everything else seems to be working properly, I think. Anyways, yeah, I guess the next step is maybe take the keyboard apart and see if I can clean it and fix it. And but that will be in another video. Hope you enjoyed this one. Don't forget to, if you did like it, you can subscribe, thumbs up, do all that stuff, commenting below, and I will see you next time.